Hey guys, welcome for a new episode of our virtual wine road trip. Today we are in the Sauternes appellation. I am at Château Suduiraut and I will let you introduce yourself and present the property.
Good afternoon, I'm Emilien. I'm the guide in Château Suduiraut since 2017. And Château Suduiraut, I'm very happy to welcome the Wine Pass team.
Thank you.
For this tour in Château Suduiraut. And we are one of the 10 first Cru Classés that you can find here in Sauternes. And we are Cru Classé as in Médoc, since 1855. But here we produce sweet wines. And in the Médoc, this Cru Classé produce some red wines, of course.
Exactly.
And we are here in the vineyard of Château Suduiraut. And one characteristic of this vineyard is that we have a beautiful view of a great neighbor just behind you, Chateau.
What a nice view.
Yes, it is. It's a nice view.
And what about the vineyard? The soil?
The soil. First, the vineyard in Château Suduiraut, it's a big estate. It's 200 hectares, all in one block surrounding the chateau.
That's huge.
Yes, and we have 92 hectares of vines.
Okay.
The rest is the trees and also the garden.
Okay.
The chateau. And the specificity of Sauternes is that we produce some sweet wines, and our main grape varieties is Semillon, because it's a grape varieties who produce a very thin skin, perfect for the development of a fungus, the botrytis, that we're going to talk about later, I suppose.
Yes.
And it's also grape varieties who grow very well on this kind of soil, you know, a mix between sand and clay, a very poor soil, very suited for the culture of Semillon. The Sauvignon Blanc prefers better a clay soil, but we have few clay in Suduiraut. That's the reason for why we have few Sauvignon Blanc.
That's why.
Yes.
So let's continue the visit.
Absolutely.
And please explain more about the specificity of the Sauternes region.
So the Sauternes region is very particular because we have a very specific terroir and we produce very specific wines, sweet wines. By terroir, I mean the soil, as we saw, the subsoil, the vines, and
the subsoil.
The vines, the climate, and the human knowledge. And
important.
Very important, because with not human, no wine.
No wine.
And the characteristic of really the Sauternes appellation is the importance of the climate.
Okay.
We have in autumn I mean September, October, during harvest period, we have a very microclimate, very specific in Sauternes, thanks to the presence of two rivers. The main one with the Garonne River that you can see when you visit Bordeaux City.
Sure.
Absolutely. And we have also a very small river who crossed the vineyard from south to north, named the Ciron.
Okay.
And the Ciron River is protected by trees, which means that during all the year, the Ciron River brings some cold water, because the water from this river doesn't see or very few the sun, thanks to the trees.
Okay.
And in September, October, this cold water from the Ciron River meets the warmest water from the Garonne River.
Oh.
And thanks to the difference of temperature between the two rivers, we have some fog during the morning, who appear here in the hill. Thanks to the wind, the fog disappears, and we have some sunny afternoon. And it's this microclimate, this mixed between fog during the morning and sun during the afternoon, who allows the development of this very small fungus, the botrytis, who have a development inside the berry.
Okay.
And thanks to this climate, the botrytis little by little absorbs the water contained in the berries and naturally concentrates the sugar inside.
Okay.
And when these berries are totally reached by the fungus, we call that the noble rot. And the Sauternes wines are exclusively made from these berries named noble rot. So,
if I understand, thanks to a fungus,
yes,
we have sweet wines.
Yes, absolutely. And also thanks to a very particular microclimate.
Okay.
Yeah. And during the harvest in Sauternes are very particular, because during the harvest, when the pickers goes in the rows, they have to select over the bench only the berries reached by the noble rot. Yes, by hand. No mechanical harvest in Sauternes. and only. To pick only this noble rot. And as the fungus doesn't have an homogeneous development over the vineyard and also over the same bench, the pickers have to do several sorting to pick only these berries. So after first passage to pick this noble rot, the pickers have to come back in the same row around, that depends, 10 days later, to do a second passage to pick the other berries reached by this noble
That's
rot.
another work.
Yes. Another work and a long work. We need to be patient.
Oh, yes.
Very patient.
Very patient.
Yes.
So we are inside the chateau?
No, we are in the courtyard.
Oh, no.
Yes, in the courtyard. And we arrived on the welcoming room.
Okay.
Where welcome the visitors. And I invite you to come.
Sure.
To see. Up. And I'm going to present you more precisely after you.
Thank you.
The appellation. Thanks to this map. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see over this map
Yes.
all of the Sauternes area
Okay.
with the small river, the Suduiraut here.
The special river.
The special river, absolutely, who brings the fog. The Garonne River on the top here. And Château Suduiraut, we are here on the middle.
Okay. In the middle.
In the middle of the appellation, the earth of the Sauternes appellation. Absolutely.
That's what makes you special. Okay. So I can see your bedroom there.
Yes.
And what is it?
It's our tasting room.
Okay, so we're gonna test now.
Not now, because the tour is not finished.
Oh,
And then because I have a surprise for you.
I have a surprise, guys.
And you can see
that's
in this
wonderful.
room all aromas here, just behind you, on the terrace, will contain the main aromas present in wines.
Okay.
And you can see also all the evolution of the color in a certain bottle when they are aged.
That's nice.
Yes.
So what is your oldest vintage?
The oldest vintage that we have in the chateau is 18, not 19, 18,
Long time ago.
92.
Wow.
1892, yes, absolutely. It's a collection, so of course we don't drink it, and it's a memory of the chateau. We preserve every year we preserve a part of our production to constitute the memory, the wine memory of the chateau.
And that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
So now where are we going?
Now we talk about the terroir, we talk about the grapes, we're gonna talk about winemaking.
Yes.
In the
nice.
cellar, absolutely. And then just here. Up. After you, Alison.
Thank you.
Pleasure. So in the cellar, where we welcome the grapes, and where happened the miracle, where we transform the juice in wine.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's happened here on this part of the cellar.
So what about this machine?
This machine here, that is the press machine. So the berries are picked one by one. We put them in this press machine, we have pneumatic press machine, and we do in Château Suduiraut a long pressing, 4 hours, to obtain a natural clear juice.
Okay.
And also to respect all the aroma diversity from the juice. When the juice is obtained, after 4 hours, we put it on the tanks downstairs,
So
that you
this
can
tank?
see here. Water.
Okay.
Downstairs. The juice stays on the tank during 12 hours at 8 degrees.
Okay.
Thanks to the cold, the sediment fall down slowly on the bottom of the tank. And after 12 hours, the clear juice with on the top is pumped and put in the barrel cellar that we're going to see for the alcoholic fermentation. So in Château Suduiraut, the alcoholic fermentation doesn't happen in tank, but in wood barrel. And we're going to
That's
see why.
interesting.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Absolutely. It's not too far. It's just here.
Okay, so this is your bar room.
This is our fermentation room.
Okay.
A fermentation room. This is not the aging room. This is not the great cellar that we're going to see later.
Okay.
First, before to talk about aging, we have to talk about fermentation. The process consists, thanks to the yeast, to transform the sugar in alcohol. The characteristic of this process in Sauternes is that after to press the berries reached by the noble rot, we obtain a very sweet juice. A lot of
Can you
concentration, yes. It's 500 grams of sugar per liter.
Oh,
Yes, it's 50% of sugar.
yes, that's a lot.
That's a lot, but natural. Sweet
Yes,
only.
natural.
It's very sweet, and of course the yeast can't transform all the sugar in alcohol. And the challenge of an alcoholic fermentation in Sauternes consists to reach a balance between alcohol, sugar, and acidity. And in Château Suduiraut, our manager thinks that the balance is reached when the wine are between 13 to 14 alcohol degrees with around 150 grams of sugar per liter, 15%,
Okay.
more or less. And we work in barrel and not in tank because this balance is easier for us to obtain in small volume than in big volume.
That's why.
Yes.
That was my question.
Happy to
I was like,
answer
that's
it.
why.
Yes, because yes, it's easier to obtain this balance in a small volume. We work more precisely in small volume than in big one.
I get it now.
Yes, and to give you an idea about the complexity of this work,
Yeah.
during the harvest, so during the fermentation, the winemaker in Château Suduiraut, she's a lady, check.
She's a lady.
She checks in every barrel, twice by day, every day,
Every barrel.
one time in the morning, one time during the evening.
How many barrels?
During the fermentation, we can work with around maximum 300, 350 barrels.
That's huge.
Yes, but
That's a lot
it's
of
really on big year with
Okay.
a big volume, and the volume in Sauternes are not so big because we pick some berries totally dried by the fungus, so we have really smaller volume than in Medoc or in the red or
Exactly.
wine, dry white wine area. But as we have a big estate, some year the winemaker can work with a lot of barrel at the same time. And she has to check in every barrel, twice by day, the alcohol rate, the sugar rate, the acidity rate, the density of the wine, the temperature of the fermentation, to know when the balance of which one we're looking for is reached.
Okay. And then she stopped.
Yes.
Okay.
When the balance is reached, we have to stop the fermentation. This is the mutage. And to do that, we put the wine from the barrel that you are seeing to the tanks upstairs that we saw.
Okay.
We maintain the tanks at low temperature, 2 to 3 degrees. The cold kills the yeast. We stop like this the fermentation work.
Okay, got it now.
And to be sure you don't have a second fermentation during the aging, we add some sulfite. The sulfite burns the yeast, really stops the fermentation work, and then we do filtration to remove from the wine the yeast and the sulfite, and then we put the wine in the next barrel cellar that we're gonna use.
So you have a second barrel
Yes,
setup.
absolutely, to do the
Okay.
aging.
I got it now.
Yeah.
But I have a question.
Yes.
Because I've seen something. I don't know what it is. What it is?
Good question. Good question. This is a needle. It's a hook. Up.
I have never seen that
Sorry.
before.
It's quite unique. So it's a hook, but
I
actually,
touch
of
it?
course, actually it's a one way. You have one entry here,
Okay.
the excite here, and during the fermentation, the yeast, when they transform the sugar in alcohol, produce some carbonic gas. This carbonic gas warms the temperature inside the barrel, and the winemaker has to refresh the temperature to maintain the fermentation temperature between 20 21 degrees.
Okay.
And to do it, she used this needle. She put it here, inside the barrel, and here on this hose you have fresh water. The fresh water goes in the hook, we will refresh the temperature inside the barrel, and thanks to this system, we can control and maintain the temperature in each barrel one by one.
That's amazing.
It's not necessary to refresh all the water.
Okay.
Yes,
But I have never seen that before.
it's unique.
It's unique.
It's only in
here.
Suduiraut. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
guys, you should come just to see here.
With pleasure. You're welcome.
That's very interesting.
So, of course, I have only one needle during the tour, but during the fermentation period, the winemaker can work with 150, 200
Okay.
needles like that.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very interesting. We are learning so much things. So now I want to see the other cellar,
Yes, the aging room.
the
Absolutely.
aging room.
Yes. where happened the aging for the Cru Classé and also for all the other wines that we produce here.
Yes, because you produce different wines here.
Yes, we produce 5 wines in total from the
Okay.
same vineyard, of course, and from the same varieties, Sauvignon and Sauvignon Blanc. The Cru Classé, Château Suduiraut, it's a wine that we produce especially from the oldest lines, who grows on the sandy soil that we saw. Castelnau de Suduiraut is a wine that we produce from all the Agnon vines who grows on a clay soil.
Okay,
And
that's
the
your
Lyon-
second wine.
Yes, and the third wine actually is Lyon de Suduiraut, and that's the Suduiraut's little brother, because it's the same plots, sandy soil, but made with young vines, and not
Okay.
old one as for the Cru Classé.
I got it now.
And we also produce 2 dry white wines, S de Suduiraut and Blanc Sec de Suduiraut.
And why?
Because historically we have a great terroir for dry white wine, and we rediscover this wine since 2004, and then we have pleasure to present all the characteristics of the dry white wine produced in Sauternes.
Okay.
It's it's another approach of our terroir to make qualitative wines, always.
Always.
Of course, the sweet wines are our main wines, but we have also this great terroir who allows to produce dry white wines.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So now we are in the aging room.
Yes.
That's
in the
huge.
aging room, the great barring room. We work in total in Château Suduiraut with 1,000 barrels.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. 93 tons.
Yes, that's a lot.
1,000 barrels. And 1 barrel stay in Suduiraut during 5 years.
Okay.
And after 5 years, all those barrels are sold, especially to United States, to the bourbon producers.
Interesting.
We are looking for the sugar contained in the Sauternes barrel to age the whiskey.
Okay.
And every year, we renew 25-30% of our barrel. I mean that every year we buy between 250-300 new barrels.
That's a lot too.
That's a lot of stuff. That's a big proportion of a new barrel.
And what about your barrels? Because I can see you have different size of
Absolutely.
barrel.
We have the Bordeaux size. I mean, it's a barrel containing 225 liter. That's exactly the equivalent of 300 bottles.
Okay.
Then we have the Burgundy barrel. The wood is the same. It's oak. That change is the quantity of
Yes.
the liters, because here you have 28 liters. 3 liters more for Burgundy wood. And then we have the
The
big
huge one.
barrel, 400 liters. 400 liters.
And why?
Why? Because all Sauternes are aged in Bordeaux barrel only. To give you an idea, Château Suduiraut de Cru Classé is aged during around 24 months
Okay.
in 60% of new barrels.
Okay.
The rest, 40% ones, are used in already used barrel. But since 2004, we make dry white wines. And we saw that to make a qualitative dry white wine, we need barrel, of course, but the Bordeaux barrel has the capacity to really bring some woody note, very
Okay.
important. And to always have this woody note, but subtle woody note, and to deliver really the elegance of these woody notes, we need Burgundy barrel, because the Burgundy barrel give some woody notes as a Bordeaux barrel, but they are more elegant and more integrated in the
Okay.
wine. Absolutely. And
So, woody elegance.
yes. Spices not, and fruity floral not. Absolutely. All in oak tree.
Yes. All in orchard.
Yes, French oak tree. And we work with 9 different coopers.
9 different people.
Yes.
That's a lot too.
That's a lot. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So now, because we have done everything, no?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do? I think we have to test,
Yes.
but where?
And this is a surprise. We're going to taste in the garden.
Oh, we're gonna go
In
to
the
the garden. So I go.
You go after you.
Wow, that's wonderful. What a nice surprise.
Thank you.
That's a huge surprise.
It's a big garden. It's 10 hectares in total.
Yes.
And it's a garden we also present, the chateau. And the history of the...
Yeah, that is my question. What about this chateau, the architecture, the history?
So the chateau actually is not older than the history. Because
Okay.
the history of the chateau is known since many, many centuries. And at the time, the chateau and the wines produced here were named as Cru Classé. And in 1580, Nicole Dallard get married with Léonard de Suduiraut. And since this wedding, the chateau as the wine produced here are named Château Suduiraut.
Oh, okay.
And the chateau here was built by Blaise de Suduiraut in 1680 in place of an old manor who was destroyed during the first part of the 17th century. During the Fronde.
That was an old one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but the reason for why is the chateau, this current chateau, is more recent than the history.
That's why.
Yeah. And this chateau was built in 1680 by Blaise de Suduiraut in a typical French style.
Exactly.
Yes.
I can see that.
Absolutely. And you can recognize the French style by architecture because you have three keywords: symmetry,
And symmetry, no?
and symmetry. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Suduiraut family stayed here until 1815.
Okay.
And since 1815 to 1940, the chateau was owned by the Guiraud de Suduiraut, some cousin from the Suduiraut family.
Okay.
In 1940, the chateau was bought by Léopold de Foncarny, and his grandson sold the estate to the current the French insurance company.
Exactly.
Yeah, who owned several vineyards over the world, including Château Suduiraut.
Oh, I can see some wines there. So what about the testing?
Interesting. This is a surprise. So, I propose you to taste one wine, but Château Suduiraut, the Cru Classé I mean, with three different vintage.
Nice.
2014, 2006, 2000.
Okay, and
Wow.
why?
Absolutely. Because the Sauternes wines have a great aging capacity. They are rich in sugar, and this sugar preserves the wine from the oxidation. And you can enjoy them when they're young, ripe, or mature.
So,
But they doesn't have the same aromas characteristic.
okay.
And with this tasting, it's a way for us to introduce you, to propose you, to feel all the aromatic diversity of the Sauternes wines by tasting a young Sauterne, a ripe one, and a mature one.
That's a really good idea. And thank you for the surprise.
Thank you.
Because I think this is the best place to
Yes,
test.
especially when we have a sunny weather.
Yes, in the wonderful garden. Behind me, you can see the property. That's wonderful. I love it.
Perfect. I'm very happy to know that you love all
So,
plates.
we're going to start with which one?
With the youngest one.
Oh, why?
Yes, we're big to appreciate really the freshness
Okay.
of the wine. Château Suduiraut 2014. Up. It's a blend with 94% Semillon, 6% Sauvignon Blanc.
That's gold.
That's gold in bottle.
Very beautiful.
Up. Then propose you to taste.
So, what about the testing?
The tasting. So first we have to smell the wine to appreciate the aromas and to have an idea about the aromas that we're going to feel on the mouth, on the palate. And when the Sauternes are young, I mean less than 10 years, as now, we can feel especially the aromas from the Sauvignon grape varieties, with exotic fruit notes, pineapple, candied lemon. We can feel also some floral notes, lilac, jasmine, woody note, also some vanilla, a little bit.
Vanilla.
Absolutely.
That's
And
true.
you can feel the nose is very fresh and exotic.
Yes, that's fresh.
Absolutely. And it's a wine very nice to enjoy in aperitif or with some scallops, some Asian food, some spice food. That's very nice also to go with the freshness of the wine. And on the plate, you feel really the freshness of the wine.
Exactly. Now I feel it.
This exotic fruit note, pineapple, exotic fruit note has a little bit of mango.
Mango.
Absolutely.
I love mango.
Peach
I feel
also.
it.
And
Yes.
you have the vanilla, the aromas, and you feel it's very fresh thanks to the presence of the acidity.
Exactly.
Yes, and we have a long finish, I hope.
Really good.
Thank you. And now, so the young Sauternes are really on the freshness and on the exotic fruits style. You're gonna to taste now Château Suduiraut 2006, a blend with 92% Semillon, 8% Sauvignon Blanc, and it's another style, absolutely, with other aromas.
So first we can see the difference. The color
Yes,
is not the same.
it's darker.
It's darker.
It's due to the oxidation of the wine. You have a chemical reaction thanks to the cork, who makes that the wine breathes, and with the contact between air and sugar, a little bit makes that the color change.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason for why the old wines have a darker color than the youngest one.
So the smell.
Yes, always the smell. Nose.
Different.
Totally different. We totally lose the freshness, the exotic fruit notes from the Sauvignon Blanc to have all the complexity, all the density of the Semillon with candied notes. Orange, apricot, you can feel also spice, caramel, saffron. And you feel maybe it's more complex.
Yes.
And deeper also than the 14,
one.
the first
Exactly.
one. And on the plate,
Totally different.
Totally
No, I
different.
really feel the caramel, as you said.
yeah, caramel, candied notes also, apricot, very candied apricot. I mean, apricot jam, really. You can feel also spice, cinnamon, saffron.
Cinnamon too.
Saffron, orange, a little bit of marmalade. Some
Especially in the
bitterness.
smell.
Yes,
The orange.
absolutely. And the wine, you feel on the plate, is not sweeter. It's more candid.
Yes,
True.
it's not sweeter. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because when we see the color, we can think, okay, this one is sweeter.
No,
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 it's
no,
not
no.
sweeter.
It's not sweeter. Thanks to the presence of the acidity. It's not the acidity from the Sauvignon Blanc, it's the acidity from the wine who bring to the wine the elegance.
Yes, and you said the balance,
Yes,
acidity, alcohol,
and sugar.
and sugar.
Absolutely, always a balance. And this kind of wine, you really can appreciate it, for example, with a tagine.
Oh,
Yes.
that's really exotic too.
Very exotic. Salty and sweety dishes
Yes.
goes very well with the Sauternes to make the contrast on the palate.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's a delicious wine also to appreciate with some prawns, grilled prawns, and a little bit of soft chili. It's very nice. And also with some cheese, you know.
Just cheese, yes.
Cheap cheese, old cheap cheese.
Okay.
Cheap cheese. Not the fresh cheese who are too acidic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well noted.
Yes.
So let's go to the last one.
So the last one, Château Suduiraut 2000. So, 21 years.
Old one.
Not, yes, old, but for Sauternes, it's not,
Yes, you can still drink it.
absolutely, always drinkable.
So as we said, the color is different.
Different again.
That's really gold. That's wonderful.
And I suppose that you're going to find that the nose is also different. Here, we really have the aromas of an old Sauternes with marmalade, bitter orange. You can feel also beeswax. You can feel cinnamon, spice also,
Yes.
and butterscotch. You know, the caramel with a little bit burned.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's complex, but always elegant and
yes, that's still elegant.
deep, very very spicy also.
Completely different.
And on the palate, we have the palate full of aromas with marmalade, bitter orange, a little bit of apricot, jammy apricot, cinnamon, very present, absolutely. And the wine is very elegant, very supple, very...
Yes, it's not that sweet as we can think when we see it.
Yes, absolutely. It's the sugars are really integrated inside the wine.
Yes.
And for this reason, this kind of wine, very elegant, very complex, with a foie gras, delicious.
Oh, perfect.
You can also appreciate this kind of wine with lobster.
Oh, nice.
Yes, a grilled
That's the last
lobster.
menu, I think.
That's very good. And if you love that also, with blue cheese. That's very
blue
good.
cheese. Yes.
Blue cheese and also Sauternes, that's very nice. And it's also a wine that you can appreciate as a dessert.
Just itself.
Yes, you had the first glass of wine with your cheese, and then the second one has a dessert by expecting the beginning of the movie or the evening.
For example.
Yes,
So thank you very much for this testing.
it's a pleasure.
And so I have some questions about, because I know you're welcoming people.
Yes.
So what about the activities, the visits you have?
So the visits that we propose is the same visits that you can see now.
With more.
Yes, absolutely. We see the vines, we see the tanks, we see the fermentation room, the aging room, and we welcome the people from Monday to Saturday by booking only to make only private tour.
That's interesting.
Yes, and we are open during all the year.
So that's nice. So guys, if you want to book, just call us.
With pleasure.
So Emilien, thank you very much.
Thanks you.
Yes,
Thanks to you.
I really spent a good time here. And guys, don't forget, every Thursday, see you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.